Hi and welcome to Loves Beauty. We're just showing you a demonstration today on how ultrasound cavitation works using water and an egg. As you can see, the egg is in the bowl, still in a lovely state. And now we're going to use an ultrasound probe. So my particular machine has got a probe that does radio frequency for skin tightening and ultrasound cavitation at the same time. What you're going to hear as the probe hits the water is ultrasound waves. Can you hear that? These ultrasound waves penetrate through a person's skin into the fat cell and start to break the fat cell down. If you can imagine, the water is your skin. All underneath the water is hundreds and hundreds of thousands of little fat cells. So these ultrasound waves are basically reverberating against your skeleton. So when a client has treatment, they often say, oh, that's very high pitched in the ears. Why is that? Why can't you hear it? That's because the ultrasound is reverberating against your spine, basically. Can you see almost straight away how the egg is almost becoming like a cocoon, almost like it's growing fair around the top? Can you see how it's almost like as if it's starting to go into when you put it in the frying pan and it's starting to take on that shape. So I've been doing ultrasound cavitation for a good number of years now, don't even like to say, and over the time I've developed quite a lot of techniques. Can you see how that is kind of just really just starting to reshape that? So when you actually do cavitation, the cells actually break down. So ultrasound penetrates through the fat cell, almost breaks open the membrane that the fat cell sits in. Your fat cells are like balloons, basically. When we lose weight, they shrink down, almost like you've deflated a balloon. But when we gain weight, they fill back up. So when people actually do diets or they do treatments, that they wonder why, if they've had treatments over time. I've had fat freezing, it didn't work for me, the fat came back. The fat came back simply because that person has overate. They've had too many calories for what their body needs. And this is something we do at Loves Beauty. We do 5-day cleanses to ensure that person de-junks their system of carbs to get into effective fat loss. All the treatments that I do are bespoke. When I very first started doing cavitation, I used to do a course of treatment, but now, over the years, you get to know that everybody's fat cells are very different, everybody's lifestyles are very different. So bespoke, it has to be bespoke treatments, and this is what we do. So when a person comes, I always assess what their fat looks like. Can you see how the egg's starting to change shape? It's almost like, do you remember the film Gremlins, when they were in their cocoon state? So we would do cavitation over about half an hour, sometimes 40 minutes, but no more than that, as it's not advisable. We can actually target the legs, so this is very good in doing a bespoke package for legs. I mix cavitation with other treatments as well. So some clients will come with a very hard fatty belly, almost like a pregnancy bloated belly. Sometimes this can be because the fat is actually stored in between the muscle rather than actually under the skin surface. So you then have to kind of break it down sometimes with cavitation or our new fat dissolving serum. Can you see how that egg's kind of thinking about, do I break open? What do I do? I'm going in a jelly state. And we've got quite a lot of water in there, so we're making sure that the probe's actually not directly touching the egg. We can actually move the probe deeper down, and you can actually see how it's thinking about breaking open. Can you see that? So we've got the probe very still. So yes, you combine it with cavitation, with your fat freezing. You can combine this with the lipo serum. And I actually have a really good bespoke package for clients that want to do both the lipo serum and cavitation. When you use the lipo serum, you can actually use it as a home kit. It's the very first FDA approved lipo serum that you can actually use at home, and you use that as a 5-day kit. So that would actually dissolve the fat cells that sit just underneath the surface of the skin. We use this in we can combine this with a thermogenesis gel, and the thermogenesis gel is perfect for hard, fatty skin that's kind of like got stretch marks, scar tissue. And the hot gel we can combine with the cold gel and cavitation. Cavitation you can actually combine with the fat freezing, as I said. So if a person comes and their stomach is very hard, bloated, pregnancy looking, we can start with the lipo gel to soften that. We can do cavitation to shape a person, and then move on to fat freezing for those stubborn areas, so like the overhang, love handles. I love doing this in the summer as a bum lift. So I actually sculpt people's backs of the legs to actually make the underbum look slimmer, and then it actually creates almost like a bum lift. But again, these are just techniques that I've kind of adapted, and with hundreds and hundreds of people over the years, getting to know what the fat is, the science behind it, nutritional training. So when clients come for treatment, whether it be cavitation or fat freezing, I always look at the diet. So I'm talking to that person for half an hour, 40 minutes. They're not just going to be staring at the wall. Yes, I like to know what they're doing in their life. Yes, we gossip what's going on in the world, but equally when a person comes for treatment, I want to know that they're going to carry on with the results. Are they going to carry on and enhance their results by having a healthy lifestyle, drinking their water? So when we do cavitation, clients always have a consultation first to assess what their expectations are, what the time frame is. I'm going on holiday, I've got a wedding. Some are unrealistic in regards of I would like a 6-pack in 2 weeks. You need at least 2+ treatments of cavitation. Just doing one treatment is just not enough, especially if you really want to sculpt those sides. I really like to do contouring with cavitation. Really helps to sculpt the person's sides. It's very good for bum lift, as I said, and the bra fat. It's very good at the back. You can see in the top now, can you see how the eggs completely change in shape? So that would be your fat cell. So basically we've got hundreds of thousands of fat cells, all different shapes and sizes, all different thicknesses of fat, and they fill up and shrink as we gain and lose weight. This is why the government is so hard now on obesity in children, because obviously we were born with fat cells, but we produce most of our fat cells during puberty. So we lay down our most fat cells during the puberty stage. So when we reach adulthood, that's it. That's our fat cells for life. Can you see if I... So if you could imagine all these eggs stacked up, this being the skin layer, the eggs that are just underneath the surface here would have already disintegrated now. This egg at the bottom, can you see that? That egg at the bottom is your deeper fat cells. So even though we would be treating the surface and we'd be treating, eggs coming all the way, if you imagine an egg coming all the way in a line there, all these would probably be destroyed now. We're getting to the deeper fat cells still. So when people say, oh, how does cavitation work in regards of how deep does it? Imagine contouring all across here in a person's side. Imagine this being a person's torso, and you're coming in and they're quite wide, and you're contouring and you're shaping the whole of that tummy. Then you can combine that with your lipo serum in the same treatment, and you can combine it with fat freezing. It's a brilliant treatment. So we're going to do just another couple of minutes, but if you imagine, we're only, what, 10 minutes in? So when you come for treatment, you've got the option to have your diet assessed. So all this is complimentary. So I look at a person's diet, a lifestyle, what they're doing. Then they've got the option, if they want to, if they're struggling to lose weight, or they're struggling with metabolism issues, they've underate for such a long time, they can't get the head around like calorie deficit or how to calculate calories. With most clients, and with every client moving forward after lockdown, I've got a special set of scales that will measure your body fat, your protein, your muscle. So we'll be looking at your protein intake. Is it enough? Is your water intake enough? Making those slight changes. As an example, a lady was due to come to me just before this lockdown hit, and unfortunately because of the lockdown she couldn't come for treatment. So we did an over the phone consultation, just tweaked a couple of things in her diet. This is even before treatment, and in 2 weeks she's lost 9 pounds, and that's tweaking just a couple of little things. She already ate healthy, but it's just a couple of little things. So all these are included in your treatment. So anybody that's got diet issues, we have a cleanse that you can do that's perfect to de-junk all the carbs and energy and bloating. You can then move on to effective fat loss by following a healthy eating lifestyle after the cleanse, which I'll show you how to do. We can show you how to calorie count. We can show you the best results in regards of exercise. We have a health and well-being page. On there is your exercise, as little as 10 minutes. I've just put one on today. 8 minutes is all you need. Some people can't do much exercise because of health conditions. There's stretching on there. There is things for people with fibromyalgia and people that struggle with arthritis. There's topics on inflammation, supplements that can help inflammation. Can you see how that's really, it's almost like that stage what I said before with the gremlins when it's going to hatch, almost like a cocoon stage. So you can see now how it's starting to really break down. And again, we're 12 minutes in now. So this is a bit of a long-winded video, but I just wanted to kind of give you a long video so you can actually see that we've not edited it, and it's a gimmick, so to speak. So in the health and well-being page, we also do live videos. So I show people how microneedling works, how fat freezing works, dermaplaning, how the serum works, and then we talk about things like your diet and how to get into a calorie deficit, what's the BMR, how to increase your metabolism. And then we have the supplement side. So last year we invented some fat burning juice and some protein, and the protein was for clients that were skipping breakfast. So a lot of my clients were skipping breakfast. They were fasting for way too long. Their metabolism had slowed down. They needed to kind of readjust that, and they were overeating, or they thought they were eating healthy but didn't realise the hidden sugars in certain things, which was showing the group. Can you see that now? It's a wobbling now. So it's almost nearly like, can you see how underneath the egg now is like really liquidy state, almost like it's spreading out? And that's exactly what happens. The liquid will come out of the fat cell through your lymphatic system and out through your wee. And number 2 occasionally. So some people find that the bowel movements go a bit greasy. But as you can see, that's once that membrane is broken, once that's secreted, that can't come back. So, if you've ever been for treatment and you feel, oh my God, I've been there, and I've, ask yourself, have I only been for one treatment? Did I not follow up? Did I go and eat a full week of McDonald's? Did I binge all weekend on alcohol? Did I follow aftercare? Coming back to the supplements, we created a fat burning juice last year, and because of COVID we were struggling with the ingredients, and then we were struggling to actually get it out there and kind of get people trying it. So we've actually now started doing samples. So samples are available in the fat burning juice and in the protein. In the protein, we've had videos in the group where we're making ice cream. We've made protein balls as little as 30 calories a protein ball. We've made mousse, so if you like the old-fashioned Angel Delight, look at that. We've done pancakes, protein pancakes. And then with the fat burning juice, we actually recently did I did like a trial with clients with fibro, because I've got fibro myself. I've had it for 12 years, tried everything, medication, holistic, massage, lignocaine, had all the testing done, the nerve conduction test under neurology. So I started taking the fat burning juice for digestion, because the ingredients, it's full of antioxidants, there's BCAAs in there, so if you work out you can take it as a pre-workout. So I was taking it as on a morning to help me push through workouts, especially on the days where I was fatigued. But I feel that with fibro I still try and push through and try and do some exercise, even though it's 10 minutes. It's better than nothing. It really helps the mental health side of it. Can you see that? Wow. So doing this for half an hour, 40 minutes, that egg would just get completely flat. But what I was finding when I actually was taking the fat burning juice was not only was it helping me have energy, it was picking my mood up a little bit. But I noticed a difference in my sleep. I was sleeping, whereas before I used to turn over at night and be like having to turn over in stages and wake myself up to turn over because I've got really bad bulging discs. So it would be like my back was going to go. And I was sleeping through and my husband was knocking me saying, will you stop heavy breathing? And I was like, I didn't know I was in such a deep sleep, so I'll be waking up more refreshed. But then I noticed that my pain was starting to reduce. So a couple of weeks ago, I did pop a post on Facebook and say to clients, you know, anybody that knows me, that knows, you know, I'm not using this to make an excuse to make money off the back of people. You know, anybody that's been to me for treatment that's got fibro, that knows I've suffered with you guys along fibro, can you get in touch? I want to experiment. So quite a few people had this fat burning juice and have been trialing it for about 5 to 7 days. So obviously when you buy the fat burning juice you get 50 days supply, and that's if you take a full scoop. So we sent all these samples out to clients with fibro, but they were doing just half a scoop a day, so half the recommended daily amount. And oh my god, reduction in aches and pains, sleeping, you know, my one client has actually said, you know, she's gone from doing 5,000 steps a day to 15,000. She actually run up the stairs. She says, I felt like Rocky. She says, I didn't even realise till I got to the top of the stairs. Actually, I've just run up the stairs. I didn't realise I'd done it. So if that can help people, you know, yes, fat burning juice it is because of the properties in it, help to enhance fat reduction, because they help with digestion, they help to debloat, they help to cleanse the bowel, they help to increase your metabolism, because they help you to burn more calories throughout the day, because they give you more energy. So all these and the ingredients in there that helps with improving mood, all this contributes to better circulation, better blood flow, more antioxidants, less inflammation in the body. So all these trials that we actually did with clients with fibro got me kind of really looking at the ingredients that were in there a lot more, but not on a fat reduction side, which originally was what it started as. It was more for, okay, so this ingredient really does this for inflammation. And I was finding clinical studies, medical papers on certain ingredients saying, you know, this helps with inflammation as well as fat loss, as well as delivering the body's antioxidants. Right, I'm going to leave it there because we're nearly at 20 minutes, so we'd have about another 10-15 minutes on this. But can you just see how that egg has gone? So by giving that a really good massage, can you see that? Giving that a really good massage at the end and doing that over a course of treatment. Again, don't forget your treatments are very bespoke. So what one person might need 3 treatments, one might need 5. One client might go on and have a couple of sessions of cavitation to soften the fat cell and then move on to fat freezing. Everybody's lifestyle is different. Everybody's diet's different. Is it permanent fat loss? Yes. You can see it's destroying the membrane. Will it come back? No, not if you don't overeat, or equally undereat, because you actually store fat if you undereat, believe it or not. So if you want any information about cavitation, fat freezing, microneedling, dermaplaning, we do facials, body treatments, diet plans, cleanse systems, protein, if you're not getting enough protein, anything. There's the website, there's my contact number, and we're also on Facebook. So Loves Beauty Birmingham, or Anita Love is my personal page. There you go. Ultrasound cavitation. Thanks for watching.